Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Balance. Survival. Okay. Delusion. Okay. And the warning. What is going on? A warning? Inside. Okay. Warning. Oh yeah. Fear. Does this also cause fear for you when you see this? Yeah? Is this, when you get a card like this, of course you're scared, right? It's just, oh wow, what kind of, what warning? A warning is scary, isn't it? And survival is also scary, right? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look, the love card. So, yes, so let's keep it in there. And the burp, very important. Straight away. Yeah. What do you have to release? Okay. Very important. Clearly you do have to release some fear, because fear is on the table. Big time. Big time. And it's the fear of survival, right? It's balance, right? It's balance. So I think you are currently in a situation where you need to learn that you don't need to fear something that is causing you some sort of survival. It's a survival mode. The survival mode is so, it's really like with this warning, it's like it's the illusion. That's the illusion in this whole. So I think you are going through something at the moment where somehow you are a bit triggered into a survival reaction. And a survival reaction really just means for me that you want to protect something. When you are in a survival mode, you want to protect your life, right? But if you realize that death is an illusion, that you are just here in a physical vessel, and you are the energy never really dies. So actually, there's no reason to be scared of anything, right? That's an illusion, right? It's literally, but it's just because of the word survival. I think it's more it's less threatening like this. It's less. I think you are just going through a situation that is triggering this in you, or you're overcoming it. It feels more to me that this is, if you are currently in it, then it will be very fast overcome, or if you are not already out of the way. It's this with a warning. A warning is more a fear trigger than anything else, even though in this image there is a real threat, right? There is a real threat. But if you think about what this does to you, a warning, it causes you to react in a fearful way. And when you are fearful, you are not acting in the same way like you would if you weren't threatened. right? Of course, if if animals do this, and this causes the other animals to flee, right? And that's valuable and valid and important. A real survival situation is, of course, causes us to access some other instincts within us. It's this, when you are being chased by a bear in the wilderness, of course you will find the extra amount of physical strength to run as fast as you can, right? But on the other hand, it could be also smart to just act smarter, right? Instead of running, that's the real fear trigger. If you run, but this predator can outrun you, right? Because a predator is in fact faster, right? An animal, right? But if you act smarter and hide, or do something smart, the smart way, it just wants to point at a smart way. There's a smart way to do things. Sometimes it's, in rare occasions, it's necessary to have this extra strength. And maybe for you there is some extra strength on the table just because I was drawn to talk about this. But I don't think it is a real survival situation. I think it's way less scary than this, right? Because if you look at a fox and the crow that is hiding, if I think about us as humans, we even have foxes as pets these days, right? Whether you support this or not, and back in the days they were seen as a threat and not as cute. They were seen as pests because they had rabies, right? You can still, they still can carry this, right? But so can dogs, or other animals, or we, right? But for me, it really looks like, with balance and survival, it also really looks more like work-life balance and survival in form of survival of paying the bills. So it's much, much less threatening than being naked in the bush and being chased by a wild animal, right? So it really feels less threatening. Even though it could be that you are in a situation that triggers the same fear for you, when in fact there's nothing to be scared about, because this is the most important card on the table. Because it says it's an illusion. If you are scared of something, it is an illusion, right? It appears bigger than it is. When you see at this reflection in the mirror, this looks like some creepy, I don't know what. This just looks a bit creepy, but it's not. It's not. It's just an illusion, right? So there's something for you when you where you are scared of something. So it could be that you are, as simple put as that, you are maybe just scared of doing your own thing, setting up your own business, because you're scared of survival. You're scared of what, right? Just think about it. It's not as scary as the worst thoughts in your head want you to believe it is, right? Even if you were really, really poor in a Western society, right? Because you do have access to this video, so I assume that you are already living in a somewhat privileged lifestyle. Just the fact that you have a roof over your head is already rich, and you have a radio, right, with this. You do have access to electronics and everything like that, right? It's not like with the nature. I really, now I have to put those cards also on the table, because I think they also reflect something. It's just, if you think about being in the wild, right? Without electronics, without artificial light, is it really? It's not the end, right? It's not. There's nothing to be scared about, right? But it also feels like you are going to get a message from an unusual source. This balance, If you look at the word balance, and this image combined, right? This is something unusual, Usually when you think about balance, maybe you see some scales, but this is a unique interpretation of the word balance, right? And it just wants to point at your unique way to find your own balance, right? Bank balance, maybe even. I really get finances here, right? So I'm really getting a financial situation. I think it just wants to point at that you are getting a message from an unusual source. Maybe whenever I see the radio, it could be a song that you listen to randomly that is played somewhere, or just in nature, that you notice something. Maybe someone just says something to you randomly, and it brings you the idea how you can find your balance, right? And it just wants to say that to receive your balance, if you are also, I really feel emotionally imbalanced, with fear causes imbalance, right? So if you are scared of something, right, just be assured, the worst thing about fear is that you live it once in your head, right? But if it actually occurs, you are not even prepared for it, because the actual situation will be much different than what you ever have imagined. It's with everything in a way. Even though we always say we want to manifest nice things for ourselves, which is okay, right? But the actual manifestation will feel still different than what you ever have imagined, because you are living it, right? It's always different. And therefore you cannot say that you will be more prepared, even if you think about things beforehand. And that's what you need to remove, right? Is the fear and this word survival, and thinking about this. And I think it's really interesting that the Access card is on the table, because this is the green card, basically, right? The green card gives you access to land that you didn't have access to before, right? And I really feel that you are getting a message from an unusual source that is giving you the confidence to overcome survival mode, or the fear of survival mode, because it transforms your thinking of survival into trust, right? It makes you see that it is an illusion that you are scared of survival. Often we are so scared of things like this that we don't even act, because that's what fear is doing to us as well, It's almost like you're frozen, right? And hiding underneath something because you're scared, And with this warning, it's just interesting, right? If we just remove the word warning, right? And look at what there is, right? There's a natural fire. And there's artificial light. I think it really wants to point at this also. And there's some smoke here, right? But if you think about this, the raven doesn't need to be scared. The raven has got wings. Even though a situation like this might be scary, it's in fact not, because the raven has wings. The raven can just fly away, or the crow, or whatever, yeah, right? It can just fly away, and then that's fine, right? I'm also getting that you might be worried about someone else, right? Because the raven is giving the warning. Oh, the raven, the crow. Is there a difference? I don't know. So maybe you are also in a situation where you have to consider other people, or maybe just someone you care for. Could be a pet also, right? Where you are scared of, what's going to happen. But there's always a way, and then it's just an illusion. And as soon as you realize this, right, you get access to something very special, and that's your most natural and free way of being, right? It's also, it wants to look at the balance of what is it in your life that's most important to you. If you are in a situation that scares you or triggers you, or is just somehow not healthy for you mentally, or something like that, right? What could you do to restore the balance, right? I think there's always a way out, and there's always a way through. So it just wants to say that there's something. I just feel a lot of fear in this reading, somehow. For me, it really looks like you are scared of something, and this access just gives you access to, this is the card that provides you your way out, you know? This is the card that gives you survival. This is so to say, this is the proof of you overcoming a situation that is a little bit triggering for you, because it's just an illusion. Again, do you see the mirroring in this card? The warning and everything? Clear case, right? And therefore, we have got those both still, right? They are important. We already know what this is, right? So what do you have to release? And what you do have to release is the fear. You know, often we just don't act because we think that something doesn't turn out the way we want it to be. But what if it turns out much better than what you want it to be? Right? You have to release the thought process of, it will not turn out the way I want it to be. That's the only thing you need to do, and then you will get access to what you want. That's the only thing that you have to release. You need to see it from a more loving, you need to expect goodness. You need to expect love, because we have grown, right? So therefore you cannot assume the worst anymore. You shouldn't, because you don't want to, right? Let's say even in the worst case scenario, would you want to live up until the point where something possibly, I'm saying possibly, just something possibly bad happens, right? Until this point, would you want to live in fear and live through this horror all the time? Or do you want to live in expectation that something nice is happening? You know, it's always try to just live in with the expectation that everything turns out much better than you could even imagine. And if you get disappointed, so be it, but it's a much more enjoyable life than expecting the worst and getting proven wrong. Right? That's the way to live, right? So therefore you can totally free yourself from this. It's just amazing. When you free yourself from this, you have discovered a very important truth about life. Right? And it's that. It's a very, very special card. And also in my personal deck that I made myself, right? There are not many cards with color, and you've got 2 of them. It's a big realization for you. Right? It's a big eye-opener. And if you do this, if you act from this view, you will be so much more free. And I'm also drawn to show you a wee card, a wee artwork, right? It's this. It's actually also a card, but just because I wasn't able to, with this deck, you know, whereas this is my zodiac sign deck, I didn't see on the website when I ordered the print how to remove the additional cards. There was just a specific amount of cards that I could choose on the website, right? So I put some other artworks in there that were not relevant just to fill out all the slots, right? So it just wants to look at this. I think you just needed to see this image because this is your worldview. You need to put the umbrella, you know, between you and all the thoughts that want to press you down, right? And it just wants to show you that you are protected also. The fact that I'm drawn to show you this because it's just on my table as decoration, right? It's just, for me, it's just, I needed to show you this. Somehow it seems to me that it's very important for you right now. So, I'm gonna pull you another card to wrap it up, and then I'm gonna pull you another card. And another card. So we still have got a few cards to go. Okay. Protection. Well, I guess. Duh. I don't have to add anything to that, right? And then let's pull another card from the deck that has, where every card has the same meaning. And that's the thing, what fear also causes. That's why I was drawn to put this deck on the table. It's quite boring to know the meaning of every card already, right? That's the thing. You know, often we are just scared of the uncertainty more of anything else, because the uncertainty is, you know, it can go either way, but you just need to expect that it will go a good way. That needs to be the basic setting. That needs to be the radio station that you are plugged into, right? It's the good news radio, right? So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, what a surprise. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, so, I hope this reading is helpful. And, let's see who this reading is for. Virgo. Okay, lovely. Additional info is in the little box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.